has been really challenging for every one of us, right? And something where initially when all this COVID stuff started happening, the tag word was we're in this together. And, and still a tag word that's being used. And it has been really interesting because for the first time in my life, having run 4 trimesters for over 18 years, my office phone became like a helpline, and I had like mothers calling me, and they didn't even engage any services or whatever, but just mothers in distress, especially with the first lockdown, just doing a call for help. Like, I have 2 kids, I'm stuck at home, this is happening, is there somewhere that you can refer us to? And this was quite unique because all 18 years I've never had to deal with something like this, and for the first time this was happening. And on top of that, we had a lot of new moms that were having babies, but yet they were also a bit stuck because of the lockdown. They couldn't go out. Quite a number of people who could help them were also not willing to go out because of the lockdown. And especially when you're working from home and you don't have a clinic or anything, you're very restricted to, or as to how you're going to offer your services to them. And especially people weren't as open to going out onto a Zoom call at that point. So it was a really, really unique time for parents. And I think it's something that seems to be here to stay. And as well for business owners, I think this is something where we have never had these kind of challenges before. And that made things very difficult. And that gave us the opportunity to actually think about how we can reach out to people, because we've always wanted to do something like this, right? Part of our challenges is we have people coming to us during pregnancy, getting help and all that kind of stuff. And then we journey with them through the birth and into early postpartum. And after, when they graduate from early postpartum, they're coming back to us and they're asking us to say, what more? So in the past, we used to hold this free parent support group called Parent Circle, and they would actually gather in my home every week. And we would have, it's free, we would have guest speakers, people coming, and it started as in this picture 18 years ago in my 3-room HDB flat before. Sulin's been there actually for antenatal classes before I moved to Chipby Gardens. And when I was in Chipby Gardens, Parent Circle was crazy because it was a 2-level little house, right? And there'll be people in my study, in my bedroom, in my son's room, as well as the living room. Like, it was crowded. We'll have 20 over mothers with babies and everything. And women would come. And then by the time I moved here into the birth sanctuary, it was still the same that way. Like, it was very, very popular. And the support group all these years have always been free. But of course, COVID changed all that, and everything went online, and it kept people very isolated and, finding new ways of reaching out to each other. So welcome, everybody. We hope to be able to use this session to help you feel and be inspired and find ways to actually connect with other mothers, as well as to collaborate together to see how we can serve women and their families better. And part of what has happened through the whole COVID was that when people come to us, they're always going, where can we go next? And we used to have the Parent Circle for them to actually go, where we would invite guest speakers coming once a week or once a month to give a talk, and we'll have a different theme. We had a pregnancy theme, we had a birth theme, we had a postpartum theme, and we had a guest speaker coming in. And it was very helpful for the guest speakers as well, because they could have a wider reach of whatever services that they extended. So now what we want to do, as we had to do over the years, where we started teaching antenatal classes in person, we had to teach it virtually whenever there was a lockdown. We even had to offer virtual doula support. So we would actually doula with the parents when they're at their homes, and then when they transferred to the hospital, when doulas were not allowed, we would actually just drop them off at the hospital and continue doulaing with them through FaceTime or WhatsApp calls and things. And there was a huge disconnect that way. But basically, we had to change the way we actually worked. And in the same way, we had to change the way we work with parents. And we were very lucky because prior to COVID, 2 years prior to last year, we were already in the midst of offering our programs online and planning to offer it online. And the reason being, I used to travel every 8 to 10 weeks. I would be abroad for at least a month, if not 2 months, doing traveling tours. And I went as far as Brazil to teach and things like that. And it was always very limiting in the sense where if I'm at one place, then the other place actually loses out. So because of that, we've always wanted to bring our programs online. And we were very lucky in the sense where before COVID, we actually had all the bases, most of it all done. We had the video recordings, we had the platforms and everything. And then, of course, COVID happened, and that kind of like propelled us forward in a much faster way. And it made a lot of people more open to actually being served online, right? Or attending workshops online rather than in person, although we still get requests to fly somewhere to teach a workshop. So Four Trimesters Made Simple was something that was born out of COVID, because we want to find a way of reaching out to other parents, given the fact that it seems that this is here to stay. And moving forward, it's the way we are going to start grooving with people. And we have had we know a lot of small businesses, just as some of you already know each other, right? Where you always have the challenge of either time in exchange for money, where or you have a situation where you're working, you already have a program, you're working on a program, but somehow you never seem to launch that program. And that's where we're hoping to collaborate with people where they have their gifts to share with the world, especially with pregnant women, working with women postpartum and into parenting, and creating a platform and a network of people who can actually help these parents. Because we realize we cannot do this alone. And we've never tried to do this alone. And we've never tried to say, oh, I want to do this and conquer the entire market kind of thing. That's not us, especially for those of you who have known us for a long time. So today, our main aim of today's session is to help you develop online courses if you have not done so and are thinking and trying to explore how you're going to do that. And if you already have an online course or reach out to people online, how you can collaborate with us to have a wider reach with other people. So for those of you, some of you have known me forever. Some of you have not heard about me until someone shared with you. I've run Four Trimesters for the past 18 years. We started home births, water births in Singapore, in some of the various hospitals. And what I do when I'm stuck in Singapore is that I work mostly with pregnant women and postpartum women, early postpartum, working with them by teaching them antenatal classes, offering birth support and postpartum, and people actually even come to my house to give birth. We actually have a woman in labor upstairs at the moment as I speak. But part of what I also do is I used to travel a lot as a trainer. So I'm usually only here for 6 to 8 weeks, and then I'll be out of the country doing a traveling tour, and I'll come back, teach antenatal classes, attend births, and I'll just rotate that way. So I've been doing that for 18 years now.
And that's the best picture I could find of me. Trust me, no airbrushing or hairbrushing was done before this photo, but I'm the other half. I'm not sure if you call me significant or not, but one of the things that I love is the opportunity where when I first moved and arrived in this place called Singapore, that was about 6 years ago when I met this wonderful woman. I did not know anything about the world of birth or parenting apart from what I saw on Hollywood movies. So you can tell what introduction I had to the world of Four Trimesters. But of course, I had to learn, and I had to learn in a big hurry. So I'm the guy in the background that certainly sees and witnesses things that probably 10 years ago I wish I never saw or witnessed, and things that I cannot unwitness. But there's some amazing things that happen here, and there's some amazing things that happen in Four Trimesters. So when I'm not supporting all the things in the background, of course, I'm not there when it comes to birth itself, although I have attended one home birth where I was allowed into that, which was just an incredible experience. But I do a bit of work in the corporate world. So I'm very blessed in Singapore, where we work with some of the biggest companies. Right now running workshops specifically for the SIA crew, who are obviously going through a really challenging time. And for me, regardless of what it is, whether that modality is birth, whether that modality is people in the corporate world, it doesn't matter what it is. For me, I really love seeing people just light up. And I really love the fact that there's people that have so many gifts to share in the world, but sometimes get caught up in the stuff that stops us from really showing up. And so when it comes to everything that happens at Four Trimesters and all the online courses and all the things in the background, I'm the guy that comes up with all the content and the text and all the things that really helps this amazing woman and her team get their message out. That's what I'm really, really passionate about, is communication and really helping people just show up and shine and together collectively make a difference in the world. So that's where Four Trimesters Made Simple come from, because for us, it was realizing, and especially me in the background, seeing the gaps. And by the gaps, I mean Four Trimesters does so many amazing things. Yet we have this amazing parent circle chat that you heard about. And one of the things that happens, is that people are on there sharing things because they're asking questions, they need help, they need support. And there's so many things where we're not able to offer that support. But to us, it's so important that these people are not only getting support, but they're getting the right support. So for us to trust where people are going, to know that when they go to that person, they can be looked after. And of course, as Ginny mentioned, and we all know, when COVID hit, one of the things that obviously happened then is everything changed. In March last year, I had about 12 months worth of workshops booked through the corporate space. That was all cancelled overnight, gone. Like everything workshop related, obviously, was just discontinued until further notice. And the reality is that hasn't started up again. But it was 2 months after that where someone asked us about how we could do virtual workshops. And there was so much resistance to it. So many people that just weren't open to it because they were waiting for the doors to open again. They said, it's okay, we'll just hold out until, and of course, at some point they had to accept that if we're going to do this, we're probably going to have to do it virtually. We're going to have to do online courses. And I've found and have found, I don't know about for you as well in what you do, that people have become more accepting of it. They're starting to embrace it more. Not only that, I'm finding there's actually some real positives by having a content and a hybrid of online learning and being able to coach them outside of that as well. There's actually a lot of opportunities that come with that as well. So really, that's the message of what I want to share about why we are sending and sharing this thing called Four Trimesters Made Simple, and connecting with amazing people who are doing amazing things, but possibly know that maybe you could be doing more. And that's the people that we want to partner with. So we know, as Ginny said, there's so many things and we just can't do it alone. And that's why we're reaching out to people like you. So for us tonight, when we share about this thing called Four Trimesters Made Simple, we recognize there's probably maybe two groups of people in the room tonight. And that is people that are already doing what they love. They're sharing their gifts. They're making a difference. And they've already maybe got an online program. Perhaps you've already got on a program. We personally use something called Kajabi, but maybe you're using something else and you've got an ability for that program already out there in the world. And so for those people, I'll be sharing with you how we would love to partner with you and how maybe we can share what you're doing amongst our community and continually growing community of people where Parent Circle, as Ginny mentioned, is full of the amazing parents that have graduated and come out the other side and are looking for what's next in their journey, looking for the things that can be supported. And not only that, of course, prior to that, there's also many people that are needing things that we can't offer at Four Trimesters. Now, the other type of person on this call tonight will be someone that actually maybe teaches it, has an amazing idea of an online program, but you just don't know how to get started. Maybe you've had this idea, this thought, and you're just not sure what to do. And it was about 3 years ago where I was absolutely clueless. And I was sitting in a place where I'm thinking, if I got to get this online, I'm not a technical guy. How the hell am I going to do it? So it was a lot of the school of hard knocks, a lot of mistakes and learning the hard way. I used to have a full head of hair and a perm before I started, but I worked it out the hard way and I ended up coming out the other side where what we now have to offer online is really something that people are starting to embrace. And I've learned a lot from that. But most importantly, I've learned how to help people take whatever it is that they're really passionate about and actually make it very simple to get it out there. Plus, of course, we'd love to partner with you once you have that course ready, to be able to share it in our network as well. So really quickly, inside, and what I'm going to share with you in a moment, is a program that we've created called Four Trimesters Made Simple, where parents, people, consumers are going to come and look through an array of amazing courses that are on offer for every step of their parenting journey. And for the people that maybe already have that ability where their course is set up, they've already got everything set up, ready to go, and they want to partner with us, wonderful. We'll be able to get you up and online as part of a resource on the website. The other people will be people that maybe need to come on this journey to put their course together. So inside, and I've been working on this for the past 5 months, is to reverse engineer everything we did to take all this amazing knowledge and turn it into something that now is making a difference and an impact for people that maybe for Ginny now wouldn't have been able to connect with or reach before. People now we have stuck in Malaysia that are taking the antenatal class because now they can actually do it online. So that's the things that we want to share. We want to share how, based on where you're at, how you can take whatever it is and simply turn it into an online journey. And it's actually very simple to do it. And what I'd love to do, as you know from what I shared and what I really, really love to do in the work that I do, is help people do it every step of the way. So there's 2 journeys for those people that actually want to piece their course together. There's the self-paced online journey where you can literally go and just work through the modules. Now, can you get it done sooner? Absolutely. But my belief is life gets in the way, and realistically, it takes about 12 weeks to put everything together, including filming content and doing everything you do, which I walk you through every step of the way. Now, there's the other people that are a little bit more, I need some support to do this. So what I thought, and when I spoke to Ginny, is how would I do that to make sure they're nurtured along the way? So what I've done is I've set some dates where not only do you do the online program, but also you come on a live journey where it'll be calls just like this with other amazing people creating their course. So it's a community going through this together. And every week we meet to go through the things that are happening, the questions that you might have, making sure they're answered. So as you journey through, you're getting your hand held the entire way through. So you come out the other side at 12 weeks with a course ready to rock, set up, knowing exactly how you can have your messaging clear, everything set up in regards to landing pages, everything that you need to be able to share this in the world. Now, the important thing is this. We want you to shine your gifts. And that means what? It means it's your content, it's your idea. We just want to help you piece it together, but that's as far as it goes. It means once you're done, it's your program. And what we then want to do is obviously partner with you so we can share it with our networks, knowing that you put the work in to create something amazing. And we'd love to then help you share that with the amazing community and networks that we have. So very respectful of time. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to share some things of maybe the journey that you might see in Four Trimesters Made Simple. We're going to open up in a moment to any questions specifically you have that might help you as well. What I would suggest is there's probably 3 things, maybe 4. One is, hey, it's not for me right now. Life is just way too busy and I can't even think about putting a course together. There's the person that maybe is ready to say, you know what, I'd love to jump in and work out how to put my course together, taking me step by step through 12 weeks, where it's actually a journey that unlocks week to week. So that way you're not overwhelmed with a whole bunch of things to do. You know, I reverse engineered so it's simple steps every step of the way for 12 weeks. The other person is maybe someone like yourself who already has a program. And if you do, wonderful. Please connect with us. Some of you already have done that. You've filled in the form. That is the Google form, which gives all the information. I'll be connecting with you so that we can work out how to get your course up and online before we start really marketing this to all our amazing community. So I'll put these links in the group very shortly in the chat box. And the last person might have some private questions, personal questions they don't want to ask in person here. Please then have a one-on-one session where I'd love to have a phone call with you and just a chat to see where you're at. If there's something something that maybe, this is not the right time for you, or maybe you've got some thoughts about how you might put it together, or whatever it is. I'd love to answer any questions. So spend some personal one-on-one time to really help you with it. So more than happy to give my time, knowing there's people out there that are just going to make such a difference to the people of Singapore and the world, the fact that you'll have this course to share with your networks and things as well. So what I'd love to do is open up. I see there's a couple of questions, and Stacey, thank you so much. Wonderful to meet you. I just saw that you put your message just there. I'll put the links up very shortly as well. But what we'd love to do, just feel free to unmute your microphone if you have any questions at all, anything that maybe is not clear, anything I've missed. I've tried to be as quick as I can, so that way I don't take up your family time, dinner time, or wine time, whichever it is. Now, Carol, when will the live calls be for the group coaching? Now, thank you. Great question. So in the link, it will take you to, and it'll have all the information. But to answer your question, the 4th of August is the first date. So it'll be every Wednesday night at exactly the same time, which is 8 p.m. And it'll go for about an hour. And the calls will also be recorded just in case you do miss it. So you'll be able to watch the call back to make sure that you don't miss anything. But it will run for 12 weeks. So from that Wednesday, the other thing I do for both, even if you just wanted to go through the course yourself, is I have a one-on-one call with you at the very start, just to make sure that you have your journey planner and you know exactly the steps of what you need to do to get the most out of the program. So I make sure at the beginning of the course that we'll do a one-on-one session to make sure that you're all set up, have all your questions answered, so you know exactly how to get started. So Carol, I hope that answers your question. Thank you. Great question.
I just thought I'll share a few things. We have about 10 programs online, antenatal classes, optimal maternal positioning for parents and professionals, etc. And we have even like primer programs. So our professional courses, when it comes to teaching birth professionals, they range around 300 US.
It's 349 USD.
Yeah, 349 USD, right? And then we also have like programs for parents, and we have primer programs as cheap as $49 US dollars and things. And what I found by doing online programs, it's not just about a wider reach. It also allows the reach to be a lot more affordable than if someone were to book a one-on-one call with me. And by the time, so we have options, right? They can choose an online program. And if they still feel that they need that one-on-one, they can choose to upgrade. And by the time they join a one-on-one session with me, they would already have some of the foundation that I'm needing them to know, rather than having to start from scratch all over again. So it's great in that sense because it makes your time very productive. And it makes your time very efficient. And you find that by the time people come to you, it's so nice if they can just take a primer. Then you don't have to repeat that introduction. You just go straight to creating that connection and getting down to the real deep stuff. Okay. So for those of you who might feel like, oh, I don't know how, mine is a services industry. I need to touch people to work with them or whatever I need to. But even so, you can always have introduction courses to help them understand how this work or how what you do is going to help them before they actually book a session in with you. Or a general thing like we have one parents program, right, which is very, very popular. And it's also popular because it's a low price product. So people find it affordable before they choose to actually convert and upgrade and buy the more expensive product. They just want to find out a little bit. And people already, just by learning like, okay, those 6 exercises and everything, you find that we have like a whole method of conversion, and we can actually even track where they come from and how people find our program. So just something to think about as people who are already practicing, or business owners, or you have a practice, and the challenge you have is, how do I cast a wider reach? How can I actually help more people? How can I help people indirectly through online programs where you may or may not really know whom you actually help? Or by the time they come reach out to you, be very productive with your time. So that's one way of looking at it. The other thing is being on the other side of the creative process of churning out all these programs. My husband will safely vouch that when I'm in my creative process, I'm really like this, like caterpillar trying to get out of the cocoon, right? And I'm like the most horrible person.
No, not at all.
I'm not pretty at all when I go through that process. And it's quite funny because it's quite addictive. Like I love the process, but I go crazy during the process as well. And it's so much nicer to be able to do it with somebody or with a group of people rather than to do it alone. And you can ask my family what that means. The whole accountability, and I'm quite hard on myself, right? So I have like all my deadlines and stuff while still working. But it's definitely not easy to do. And some of you know that because you're already working on your program or maybe feeling stuck. So this is something where we're hoping to help people overcome as well. Having churned out so many programs and still have plans to churn out more programs, um, it can be very, very exciting. And having our content online has really opened a lot of doors and a lot of opportunities. We get people from like recently we got a birth center contacting us from America, and they basically just want to use our antenatal program because of COVID and all the problems that they are having. And they're saying a lot of birth centers, they have the same problem because people don't actually want to pay more for programs, but they want it to be part of their core curriculum and they don't want to invent something new. Okay. So there's a lot of ways that you never really know that when you choose to go online, what doors it will actually open for you, and just something to think about.
And I think a lot of people that we speak of when it comes to online programs, it really complements what you do as well. It's not an instead of. A lot of people are fearful that if I do an online program, that means I won't be able to do what I do. Whereas for a lot of people, they've found that it's almost like an introduction, like Ginny said, to what it is that you offer, and maybe it's one component that really gives people the ability to connect with you and build rapport with you from your online program. The other thing too, if we look at the Four Trimesters antenatal class, which was the first program we really started to get up and running, we had always a challenge, especially when COVID happened. Of course, then it became even worse. But if somebody missed a class, and there was always a challenge of trying to find a time so that they could catch up on the content. Not only that, when people attend the class, of course, sometimes something might come up. They have this emotional thought that's going on. They might miss some of the other piece of the contact. So what Ginny will do is obviously complimentary give them the online program when they come to the live online classes. So it means that they get to go back and study over and learn at their own pace and their own time in between the sessions. So they can really catch up and reinforce the things you learn. So it means it's a great learning tool to complement what you're already doing. And maybe if you're a body worker, as an example, it gives them the homework rather than having to explain. I know we got Ronald on there. Ronald, I always did my homework. Everything you told me to do, I went home and I stretched and I did everything. The reality is, if you have a place where people can do that follow up, and it means that you're not having to so much, I guess, spend the time to follow up, make sure you've laid out all the exercises or writing them down. It could be that you have something as a go-to for people when they go home for the homework that they can do in regards to, simple stretches or things like that. So just a couple of insights. I hope that was helpful as well. Please, I got that message, Jamie, book a call. Let's have a chat. Let's see how I can help. Any questions? Technical advice, absolutely. What I do, in regards to Kajabi itself, which most of the platforms are exactly the same, I actually show everything, including video editing, how to do filming on a budget, what technical stuff, which means you don't need a lot of technical stuff to do. Things like a ring light, some cheap things that are going to make a difference to make it look really professional without breaking the budget. So how do you create a course? I take you through every step, including filming. If you were just doing it from a computer screen, part of the process is building your slideshow presentation, which will be the context for your course, including even how to build your workbook from that, I use Canva for everything. So I even teach you the technical elements of how to use Canva to create your course content and everything as well. So that's, screenshots, everything you would use, the filming of it, what you would need to film, all those sorts of things as well. So I tried to cover everything If I don't and I miss something, I'm sure you can just say, get on a call, Andrew, you forgot that. But I like to think 5 months worth of work, I hope I covered absolutely everything that will get you started. That's my hope. And if I didn't, I'll certainly be there to help you every step of the way.
And also just to add to that, like whether it's social media marketing or whatever, right? The technicalities of it is quite easily worked out. You know, like filming what you need, it can be done these days. It can be done low budget, and even a lot of our stuff we do it ourselves. And although we even hired people to, at the end of the day, the most important thing is the gifts that you have to offer, how you want to offer it, and the messaging. And I find that the most challenging thing, because some of you will be in my situation, right? Like Carol and everything, you have to do this, and then you have this, and it is like, which market do I target? And it's crazy, you know? Like the other day, he was saying to me, it's like, yeah, you keep producing and producing and producing, right? We need to stop producing. And things. I said, yeah, but if we produce this, then it saves me time on doing this, and I can lower the cost for people and have them attend this primer first. So it takes that out of the way. It's going to be a win-win situation, that sort of thing. Okay. So that's where messaging comes in, and something I still struggle with, right? And he always has to put me in my place and go like, what's the message that you want to deliver? And at the end of the day, like with everything else, there has to be good quality content. And a lot of it, the challenge is, how do you narrow down what you want to offer and how you're going to offer, and offer it in a way that's simple, people can learn very quickly, take away, use it, and even better still, share the word with other people. And those are the things that's focused in the course, things that we've been through ourselves, like how do we simplify something and make it easy for people to replicate. And what I really like with all these online things, right, it's like, it's giving the power back to the people. That's one of the things I really enjoy, is really giving power back to the people, where it doesn't matter if you're a lay person, if you're a specialist, if you are new to this, you're seasoned or whatever, there's something for everyone to take away. And they can do it no matter whether they have the background or not. And it actually works. That's what I really, yeah, like what JC is saying. That's what I really enjoy.
And for us, just the final thing I love to add as well is that, you know, we know that there's people as well that, you know, you're busy, you have so many things going on at life, but you've had this idea, and maybe, you know, it's families and the kids are that little bit older. You've always had that idea to, you know, to be able to contribute back with all the things you learned from your birthing, your parenting journey. So don't let it be limited to parenting as an example. You know, even though Ginny teaches antenatal classes, there's so much more that people need during that time. So my suggestion also is to look at the fourtrimestersmadesimple.com website. You can see we've even got a couple of programs that are just started. So Chatterbubs in Singapore, which is amazing, sign language she teaches. So her program is already up, and we have it connected in. So we just really would love to get some real quality programs so we can start to share it with parents of that as well. So like I said, if anything, I hope it inspired a thought to say, I wonder if I could put my gifts online, and how might I do that? If we can help with that, great. You know, if you're ready to go it alone, I hope this inspired you to go and do it. Awesome. Please book a call, have a chat. If there's anything I can do to help you and support you, I'd love to, and look forward to it. Wonderful. Okay.
Thank you very much for spending time with us tonight. I hope you found it helpful in one way or form. Reach out to the man.
I look forward to chatting. I really, really do. And reach out to Brian as well. Sounds like everyone does. So that's awesome. You're going to be a busy man after tonight's call, Brian. Awesome. Take care, everyone. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great night.